Welcome to Daily Wisdom, where every single day we seek to take a piece of God's wisdom and then apply that to our everyday life. We are looking at a reading plan called The Essential Jesus. If you want to follow along with this reading plan, check out the links below this description here on YouTube. You can find out all about it. Today our reading takes us to Luke chapter 4. And we've looked at other parts of this chapter before in relationship to Bible prophecy, but today we're looking at the very beginnings of Jesus' ministry as he heads back to his hometown of Nazareth. When he first begins sharing with them, they accept him, and actually it says that they're amazed by his words, and they're asking themselves, is this the same Jesus we knew? Is this Joseph's son? And surely it is, but he is not just Joseph's son. He's the Son of God, and he begins to share with them how they, right there in Nazareth, are not going to accept him or his message. Let's take a look. Luke chapter 4, we're going to pick up with verse 24. It says, Jesus is speaking. "Truly I tell you," he continued, "no prophet is accepted in his hometown. I assure you that there were many widows in Israel in Elijah's time, when the sky was shut for 3.5 years and there was a severe famine throughout the land. Yet Elijah was not sent to any of them, but to a widow in Zarephath, in the region of Sidon. And there were many in Israel with leprosy in the time of Elisha the prophet, yet not one of them was cleansed, only Naaman the Syrian." All of the people in the synagogue were furious when they heard this. They got up, drove him out of town, and took him to the brow of a hill on which the town was built in order to throw him off the cliff. But he walked right through the crowd and went on his way. In today's reading, we see Jesus visit his home village of Nazareth, and he warns them that they are going to reject him and his message. And it's quite clear that that's exactly what happens. As they run him out of town, they're actually ready to stone him and toss him over a cliff. And Jesus ends up walking away, walks right through the crowd and walks out of town. And is exactly what he said was going to happen is what happened. They rejected him. And that just didn't happen here. It started here, but that happened throughout his entire ministry, as eventually he was put to death on a cross for the message that he shared with the world around him. But why did this happen in Nazareth? Why did this start right here in his hometown? Well, he shared with them about the prophet Elijah. And this might be a detail that you may have missed. He points to a specific moment in Elijah's ministry as a prophet where he visited the village of Zarephath. He didn't visit any of the other surrounding villages during this dark time. He visited Zarephath of all places, and this was a village that was not following God. This was a village outside of the Jewish community, a village that would have been considered heathenistic, a village full of people who don't believe like the Jewish people believe, that needed to hear the message that Elijah carried. And that's what Jesus is saying to this Jewish community here in Nazareth, that the message he is carrying is more than just a message for the Jewish people. It's a message that brings hope to everyone in humanity, all of mankind, even those outside of God's chosen people. They could hear this message and have their relationship with God restored as well. And the people here in Nazareth are so narrow-minded at this point that they can't see a Messiah bringing a message for anyone else except them. Pretty selfish, wouldn't you say? Well, how can we apply this to our own lives? Sometimes we get wrapped up in our own bubble, our own world, our own circle of influence when things are going just as we'd like, that we miss out on those who are excluded. And how we can apply this to our lives today, how can we follow Jesus, is maybe there's someone in our circle of influence who's been ignored for some time. Someone who's hurting that we may not even have been paying attention to because we've been separated from them. Look for that person in your circle of influence, that outsider, and how you can share God's message of hope and healing with them. Let's do that as we continue in our week. That's today's Daily Wisdom. I hope you found this video encouraging. If so, hit that thumbs up button. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please consider doing so you don't miss out on any of the short studies that we share together each and every day, Monday through Friday. We'll see you tomorrow.